Hey, Dave Knight from 123daytrade.com. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being here. So the title of this video is Cooked in the Squat. Now, let me tell you a little bit of background of this so you understand the story. Zig Ziglar, one of these self-development gurus, I wouldn't call him a guru, he's pretty cool. He's since passed away. But he told a story about when he was living in Yazoo, Mississippi, I believe. And the story that he went on to talk about was this cook that worked for a house, and he went on to talk about, he grew up in the Depression era, and he said that they had plenty because every time he asked for seconds, he said you already had plenty. And so he goes, I always knew we had plenty because Mom always said we had plenty. Anyway, so that's kind of a background. So next door, or a couple of doors down, or wherever this house is, this is a house that has a cook in it. So it's Depression era, and the house has a cook, so they have something to cook, right? And she was making biscuits this day, and the biscuits didn't rise. So in other words, they didn't, they stayed flat, and they didn't come up, and they just didn't rise. And the story that he goes on to talk about, and she just laughs and says, oh, they just got cooked in the squat, meaning that the yeast or whatever that would make them rise, she forgot to add in the yeast, or it just didn't work out properly. So they were flat like silver dollar pancakes in that sense. So I tell you this story because I was looking at today overall, and I got cooked in the squat. I forgot some of the things that I know work, and I allowed outside influences that inside, different things that are going on in my life outside of just trading to influence the way that I go about it. I had a long talk with my brother. We didn't solve anything. So lots of things going on in my life outside of just me trading. If it was just me trading and I'm sitting in front of the screen, today would have been just an absolute killer of a day. But it wasn't, because I don't make excuses for my losses. I came in feeling confident, and a lot of times when you're feeling a little above where you should, the market decides to humble your ass, and that's kind of what happened to me today. I ended up with 9 trades, and that's not something I'm real proud of. But a lot of those trades were taking like 5-6 tick hits along the way. So I was taking little bitty hits, but little bitty hits add up. I think I ended up down 43 ticks overall on the trading session, but there was such an awesome signal today, and there was actually 2 really good signals. If I just would have held my ammo back and kept it intact, and only took 1 trade early, and then waited, and then wait for that next trade to develop. So there was and so I could have seen myself where I would have had 3 trades on, or perhaps only 2 trades, but 3 trades max today. And I actually caught the 3rd trade that I'm going to talk about, but I got stopped out at 93, and it didn't go higher than 94. So once again, it was back to one of those dollar short, penny wise things, or penny wise, dollar short, or wherever I talk about. So I got cooked in the squats, how I'm going to say it today. So let's go to the charts here. Let's talk about the charts. And when we first came in this morning on the trading session, what I noticed was this bar. I think it's this one. Nope. It came in at 3:30 roughly in the morning. I think it's this one. Yeah. This right here, 11:48, comes in at 3:43 in the morning. I don't normally like to look back prior to 6:30. I looked back and I saw this bar. So what my thought process was when I saw this is we would need a higher blue bar volume to equal this, or get up to that, to be able to drive the market lower. Let's remember that as we're talking about our trade setups today. The first trade setup that I got involved in, and I'm okay with my first setup, by the way. I think this setup was a valid setup. I was looking at the market to have continuation of a down move. Why? I didn't think when we came into the session this morning, and let me get my screen draw tool out. This is what the market was doing right here. Oh, wait a minute. Let me go back here. No, excuse me. It was right through here. This was the morning session right in here. And then it shot up like this. Let me get rid of that and try again here. So when we were in this morning, when I first started trading, we saw this movement and then we saw this. And I actually had this signal. Here was one, here was two, here was three, and I had already lost some money, so I wasn't ready to take this on, and it just zoomed up to a 3p profit target if I would have just been held on and took this trade on. It was right there for me. Notice where we stop. I wonder if that has any significance of where we're stopping. And remember I talked about 83, right? So I was looking this for a continuation. Now, let me draw back here and talk a little bit about, hell with the trades. Let me tell you, that was one trade setup that I liked. This one here breaking out. The next trade setup that I really liked was breaking down, obviously, but I ran out of ammo at this point, and I'm going to show you where I ran out of ammo. It took a 10 tick hit on that trade, and if I would have had 11, I would have stayed in it. So if I run with a 2/3 stop today, I would have been out of my trades a lot earlier, but I was taking 7-8 tech hits during the session. And not to say that's good or bad, I just, I allowed the outside to influence, like I talked about previously. Now there's the 15-minute chart, and I want to throw something up here on the 15-minute chart so that you can see something. When I was trading, what I did is I did two things. The thing that I did though was I put a Fibonacci retracement up on the highest of the session against the low. The low was right in this area at the time. Where does it go to? Now I was looking at the market to get to 52.83 and then return, but it goes up to 38.2 and doesn't bounce off of that. So, the Fibonacci traders were getting involved along this way, right? And then all of a sudden it didn't support it and then it went on down. Was there a signal that you could have taken into that trade? And I would argue yes. Look at this right here. Look at the 5-minute chart. There's the 200 bar that comes across. It barely peaks across and then it trails off right here. Like I told you, I was in at 83, roughly right in this area right here. I waited and waited and waited. Why did I wait? Let me show you where I got involved in it. And this is the things that happen in trading. I saw this long signal, by the way. This was the original long that I had, and it came back and ran me out at break even on this move right through here. And then it went down to here. I went short here and went down here. Now, before this move happens right here, I was down 20 something ticks. So I've taken too many trades. And I sit back and I watch this develop. Now this is what I saw at the time of the trade. Let me show you what I saw. Let me get back up here, and you'll see that I have I think I even actually screen printed one of the things that I saw. I mean, I was back here looking at this. So I was watching this develop coming down, and I was watching this develop coming up. And I had this crossed over. You'll see that I had this crossed over on one of my chart setups that I saw. So what is this telling me? Right now, let's go back to the highest volume bar, right? highest volume bar at 330 is this right here, 1148. It's red. So I should be looking on the long side, and you can see all the long signals coming across here, right? So they're accumulating. They're accumulating orders. They're accumulating orders, and then all of a sudden you see the escalation of the accumulation right in this area. And this is a classic bear trap set up. It just barely goes below the low of the other one. Excuse me, this one goes below, it goes in the low. This one comes down and it makes basically a 1, 2, 3 formation. This ends up being the 3-point. So I see this trade. I see the long, but I stand aside and I watch this market go straight up. So I'm going, all right, I missed that one. I'm already down, I think, 30 something ticks at this point. And I said to myself, all right, I've got one trade available to me. I think I was down 33, ended up, yeah, in the last trade I took on made it. So I had 8 trades at this point, and I'm down 33 ticks. Don't ask me why I did what I did. I was just being stupid. And if I would have just played smart, right here, here's my setup right there. It's there. It's calling out my name, and long signal coming up through here. I'm seeing all this. I'm thinking, okay, now what? Look at this bar right here, 1152. Is 1152 greater than 1148? So is 1152 greater than 1148? The answer obviously is yes, it's greater by 4. So what is the highest volume bar when that blue bar right there gets printed? When I was long, and I see this, by the way, I see this whole move, and it's like I'm an outsider watching from the watching the market. Like I wasn't even, I'm participating, but I'm not following my trading rules. I traded in overconfidence today, I believe is why I lost the money. So maybe if I had lost the day previous, I would have caught this day going up, and I would have caught the move coming down. If I would have been humble and not been overconfident, hopefully I would have not made up some entries that I did along the way. You know, there was in the back of my head said, I kept saying this whole time, their volume hasn't shown anything. Volume hasn't shown anything. Volume hasn't shown anything. If I want to take one trade on the short side, then fine, do it. But then after that, I've got to say, hey, we haven't made a low, and I need to go look the other way at the trade. And this was it. This was the setup. This is what I saw right here. I'm watching this all build up, and then the market, and like a deer in the headlights, I watch this market just take off, and I sit there and watch this happen. And this was between 10:13 to 10:23. So within 10 minutes, the market moves up 3p, roughly 57 ticks today, and I would have made up for all my losses on one trade. And then to top it off, I see the top. I see the top. I see the top here at 53.05. I'm looking at my 15-minute chart. I'm looking at my 5-minute chart. And I say, all right, cool. We're ready to go down now. The highest volume bar is going down. This kind of tricked me a little bit right here. But the highest volume bar is going down. Now, what was the signal? This was the setup. Let me show you the setup. Let me get rid of this line right here. So the setup comes in, and I catch this damn thing. So here's the setup. I see 85. I should have went short at 84. I told myself I'll go short at 83 because it is the 50% mark of 83. And in the back of my head, I'm going, 50% can go both. It could go up and down, sideways, and all over. So I'm thinking, all right, 83, and I'll go with a 10-tick stop. So I come in at 83. It goes down here to the S1 number again, and it comes up to here to 93. It takes me out to the tick at 93. 94 I'm in, 95 I'm in. If I use the prior day high up here at 97 and call it 98, I'm in. So how many times have I talked about being a penny wise and a dollar foolish in my trading? This was it. If if I didn't have the accumulation of all the stupid trades that I had made, if I took on the long trade that was there for me to take on, and then if I would have taken on this trade right here, knowing what I know, this was highest volume bar. Look at this. Goes down to 51.72. I guess that's the low. 51.72. It crosses back up over the 200 bar right there and doesn't look back again. It looks like the exit of the trade was right in this area right here at 52.01. So what's the moral of the story? The moral of the story is I missed an awesome trade today. I missed the 57 tick winning trade on this side, and I missed at least a 3p trade on the other side. So there was $1,000, there was roughly about $1,500 on the table today if I would have traded perfect. And granted, I'm not going to be perfect in my trading. I know that coming in. But if I don't recognize the trade signals when they come in, if I ignore them, if I'm doing things inside of that thinking I'm a trading god and some of the other things that I was thinking in my head at this point in time, I'm no good. I know that. I know that. I mean, I even knew that. I said, it's going to run down here and it's going to retrace and then it's going to make up its mind which way it wants to go. So if I would have had the balls to take it on again, but I was already at minus 43. When this knocked me out, I'm at minus 43. And with 9 trades, there was no room left. I had used all of my ammo up on piss poor trading decisions. So that's what I mean by being cooked in the squat. And today, granted that, I'm a smart guy sometimes when it comes to trading, but smart doesn't pay the bills. Smart doesn't make you a good trader. Smart puts you in the poorhouse. If you do not take your trading signals, if you do not follow your trading rules that you've established, if you make up shit along the way, this is the kind of crap that happens to me. Now, granted, I made a new account high yesterday. I was thinking I needed to have a drawdown at some point. I didn't want it to be today, but I'm still sitting up 1,100 overall in the funded account. As far as the rest of the week goes, I'm looking at tomorrow being inventory day. Trade my inventory strategy, see if I can pull myself out of the hole, and do not trade Friday. So that's the marching orders that I've got for the rest of this week. So I hope you enjoyed this getting cooked in a squat. That's what this is all about. Sometimes you just simply get cooked in a squat. I saw the trade signals that came across, and how many times have I talked about being a penny wise and a dollar foolish? Boom. Once again, I get smacked upside the head and get taught another trading lesson for the umpteenth infinity time. So we all make these trading mistakes, and what doesn't kill us, what makes us stronger. So keep that in mind when you're when you're trading. I'm still getting over all this. And that's probably another reason maybe I should have been trading today. But I felt so good. It looked like it was doing something. It goes up and I missed it and it went down and I just I couldn't believe, but a lot of that has check what your mind's telling you before you start the door. My mind was going back and thinking about crap that happened from Saturday with my brother and I. It's thinking about crap that happened with my talk with my mother. There's all kinds of crap that's inside of my head right now. And it comes down to, and if you want me to be completely honest, what's going on right now inside my head is what Jesus talked about. And I'm not putting myself in with Jesus and nowhere near that. But he talked about that a prophet's not honored in his own hometown, and he's not recognized, and he's you know, his knowledge and information is not warranted, and they just see you from all your past failures. You know, they see you as the boy who's cried wolf so many times. You know, they don't see you any other way. um, that's the issues that I have to deal with on an emotional level, and that influences my trading, where I start making shit up. And that's the kind of stuff, when I get undisciplined, this is what happens. And I guarantee you, if you look back at some of your past trading mistakes and some things that are going on in your own life, you've allowed these kind of things to happen. In other words, you got cooked in the squat as well. All right. God bless. Take care. I'll see you in the next video I put together. Bye for now.